Welcome back to the Crypto's Key conversation. I'm just going to jump straight into the content because I got a little bit I want to cover here. So quickly looking at CoinGecko here, we're currently sitting at $942 billion market cap, currently down 4%. So clearly we're under the $1 trillion market cap still. As you can see, Bitcoin sitting at 20,857, and a lot of the TA guys I follow are talking about it, playing or testing its previous market cycle top when it comes to Bitcoin. Ethereum sitting at 1112. So 1,112, and then XRP sitting at 32 cents. So looking at 24 hours here, we have very small gains, and it looks like another stable coin there. If we come over here to the Bitcoin Fear Greed Index, we printed a official 7, so that's lower than I've seen, being with my time in this market. So we're sitting at another 7 right now. We got 2 hours and 19 minutes till the next one presents itself. So really curious to see, if this thing's going to go down anymore, if it's going to hold, or if we might go up a couple points. Really interesting. As you can see, we still have a lot of fear and uncertainty in the markets, and there's a lot of different things that's going on, and it doesn't help, with the Terra Luna crash, and now we have the whole Celsius debacle that's taking place, and there's a lot of question marks as to whether they're going to recover or not. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how things unfold here. Moving on here, Johnny Dean, he has a couple of tweet threads that I wanted to cover. So he's responding to Costa here. Says the SEC is clearly trying to make to complaint that all XRP is a security, not because the asset is a security, but because everyone holding the asset is holding fruit from the poisonous tree. They argue that Ripple is the promoter and primary driver of XRP's value. So Johnny Deaton says, this is why I've been pounding the table for non-XRP holders. The SEC is suing a, quote, but for causation test, but for Ripple's initial efforts, XRP would hold no value. Therefore, all XRP are securities. Why is that so dangerous? But Vitalik Buterin, but Satoshi, ... Moving on here, Johnny Deaton's referencing kind of what's been going on with, obviously, the crypto law US, Empower Oversight, Jason Foster. He says, since Empower Oversight referral, 4,890 advocates sent 16,649 messages reaching all members of Congress. 14,561 have sent 50,913 messages to Congress demanding an investigation of gross appearances of impropriety by senior SEC officials on crypto regulations. He continues, 25,555 international holders have signed the petition asking the ranking members of the banking committee to open investigations. If you haven't, it literally takes less than 30 seconds, and I completely agree. This is what you get as you go through this. It's a super easy process, and they made it very streamlined to get involved and make an impact. So I highly recommend that you do that. You can go here and click this link as well. But just to see the diverse, decentralized community come together to fight the good fight for a common cause. This is a beautiful thing to see, and I'm glad we have Jason Foster, Empower Oversight, coming from a different front. You have Johnny Deaton in a class action lawsuit. You have international representatives as well, and their support in regards to what's going on with Johnny Deaton in the crypto law US. So you just have all these members in our crypto and our cryptocurrency community, whether you're XRP holders or not, coming together as a decentralized community to fight the good fight. This is huge. Johnny Dean also is responding to Lou here. Lou says, if Ripple is the driver for XRP's value, wouldn't it be valued over 2.7 instead of 30 cents, $2.70 instead of 30 cents? Ripple grew over 800%, XRP declined 300%. Make it make sense. Bitcoin is the only thing driving XRP value up and down, like 99.9% of the market. 100% agree. John D says, any expert witness offered by Ripple and the SEC must admit the points below. When the lawsuit was filed, Ripple was valued in the private market at $10 billion. Less than 2 years later, and while the lawsuit is still pending, Ripple grew to a valuation of $15 billion. Look at XRP. And I literally I just showed it. If we come back over here, just to show it on CoinGecko, you can go to like TradingView to really get like a full scale detail of kind of what's going on. But we can just do it like just put like a year. You can see, we're back at a lot of the purchasing that I made a lot of purchases in this range in the 20s and the late teens, and from 2020 all the way up until this point. It's crazy that we're back down at these levels at 32 cents. Let me make sure I get this right. Is that Lou? Okay. Moving on here. Johnny Deaton responds to library, says, all the evidence the SEC has submitted regarding historical exchange of LBC is literally just screenshots of CoinMarketCap. Shake my head. John Dean says, everyone should be alarmed at the lazy approach by the SEC in the library case. Also, the SEC isn't relying on a single expert witness. Why is that so alarming? Does that mean the SEC believes it doesn't need one because they are confident the judge will go along with the government? It's a great question. I mean, I'm quite interested to see kind of what's going to take place and unfold with that library versus SEC stuff. And it's crazy that these very transparent companies trying to do things the right way, and it's very apparent that they're trying to do things the right way, but they're the ones that fall under the scrutiny of, the regulation by enforcement by the SEC. It's crazy, man. Digital Asset Investor had put this video up, and I was going to play it, but I highly recommend you come in and play it. But pretty much, long story short, he's saying, 1, the SEC allows Ripple to work with MoneyGram. 2, SEC sues Ripple so MoneyGram can't work with them. 3, Stellar Org almost the same tech, but can work with MoneyGram and doesn't get sued by the SEC. 4, Stellar Org, MoneyGram, CirclePay work together now. I was born tonight, but not last night. Tim says, hashtag ETHgate. And then Sherry's has the eyes with the silly face with the popcorn. I mean, that's quite honestly what it's been at this point. It's literally just kind of just like watching this show unfold. Obviously, I have my involvement being a part of, the class action lawsuit with Johnny Deaton and, making videos, retweeting things, getting involved as much as I possibly can, kind of getting the word around kind of what the community has, surfaced together. But it's literally just been like one freak show that's been happening, which is absolutely crazy. But I highly recommend you come in and listen to this video. It's 2 minutes and 34 seconds. Moving on here, this is from Blockworks. Breaking: Circle announces a fully reserved Euro-peg stablecoin called Eurocoin. The Eurocoin will be available to institutional customers via a free Circle accounting starting June 30th. That's an update right there. Watcher Guru says, Texas has launched an investigation in Celsius Network. So we've been talking about what's been going on with the Celsius network, and obviously, with the value of it going down, like I think it was like something crazy. Almost a lot. It was almost just like a Terra Luna deal, but now they've halted, the assets of their customers on their platforms from withdrawing, and there's just a lot of just shady stuff that's happening, and people are talking about Ponzi schemes, and I think it's Mazinski and his ordeal, and just a lot of shady stuff going on, a lot of unanswered questions. So we've been talking about how we want to cover it. Now you have Texas has launched an investigation into Celsius Network. So we made a couple videos talking about Ben Armstrong. So he was talking about a class action lawsuit being formed. He was going to update the community on what was going on. But I just wanted to touch on a couple different tweets that he had put out. So this is Ben Armstrong from BitBoy Crypto, one of the largest crypto communities on YouTube. And he has a huge following of almost 1 million people here on Twitter. He says, self-custody as much as possible, as much as you possibly can. We are pulling out of many exchanges. He's talking about him and his team. If this can happen at Celsius, it theoretically can happen anywhere. Only use exchanges when necessary for trading, onboarding, and offboarding. I 100% agree, and that's why I'm putting this out, because I've talked about this in previous videos of like, I have a certain percentage or a certain allocation of my digital assets on exchanges that I'm ready to, turn a profit on or exchange for, other assets. And then what I do is I take literally probably like 95% of what I have off and I self-custody it, whether it's on my ledger or whether it's on like my mobile wallet or whatever the case is. The saying that they say, not your keys, not your crypto, that is so true. I mean, if you have it on these centralized platforms, especially with these clauses that they have in their terms of service or whatever the case is, it can literally, you can be dealing with the people that are part of the Celsius thing to where they can't, get a hold of their assets, let alone, platforms that are doing things by the book and that are for their customers, but they're, dealing with whether it's an SEC lawsuit or whatever the case is that's affecting, the ability of their customers to, obtain their digital assets for whatever reason. So make sure you educate yourself, protect yourself, and self-custody as much as you possibly can. It's really not that hard. And I'm trying to say that with the utmost respect. It's really not that hard. Go on YouTube. There's great videos on it. Educate yourself on how to utilize, some self-custodying opportunities, if you will. But I wanted to cover another tweet here. Let me see. Where's it at? This one here. Ben Armstrong saying, here they come trying to silence me. I will not be deleting tweets. I did not dox this employee. His bio literally said worked at Celsius Network on a public account. Employee identities are not kept hidden. How about maybe, just maybe, he should have done his job? So he's referencing, if I zoom out here, he's referencing this email here, I'm assuming. And you can come in here, pause it, read it. But long story short, I mean, clearly Ben Armstrong from BitBoy Crypto is he's had a decent amount of money probably in his platform, has been highly affected, and he's not just for himself, he's stepping up for the rest of the community and kind of bringing the fight to what's going on in the shady behavior that's been happening. So we're going to keep following kind of what's happening in the Celsius network regard. Last article here from Cointelegraph says Hester Pierce expresses strong support for crypto spot ETFs and regulatory structure. The pro-crypto SEC commissioner we call her Crypto Mom, or they call her Crypto Mom, says, quote, Crypto Mom had sharp words for the SEC behavior towards Bitcoin spot ETF sponsorship applicants delivered at a libertarian forum. So just a quote coming out here says, quote, why does this matter? Investors might prefer a spot Bitcoin ETF to other options, and we ought to care about what investors want. Absolutely. That's what you're there for. Quote, the concern for liberty and personal autonomy thought drives you to prefer fiat to fiat out, also to cause you to reject a government that arbitrarily limits people's investment options. So, I mean, I can talk about a whole lot of different things. One of the big things that come to mind outside of this big spot Bitcoin ETF is the fact that this whole like accredited investor stuff, like it just blows my mind. Like I get why, you know, there's certain things that set up to protect people, right? I get it, because there's people out there that will literally blow everything and, you know, ruin their entire lives. And who's going to be the ones taking care of them? It's the system. Taxpayers are going to be the one trying to, you know, obviously paying our taxes. And then there's going to be certain government aid to assist them for, you know, filing bankruptcy or however the structure works. I get all that, okay? But to have to be an accredited investor to invest your hard-earned money that you've earned after already paying taxes, so you can't get into certain, you know, new startup companies, or, you know, this great blockchain technology when it comes to the businesses. Like, you can't get into those private seed rounds because you're not an accredited investor. That blows my mind. So it literally just fuels that narrative of the rich get richer while the poor get poorer. And I'm saying that with total respect, because I've come from nothing. So I know what it's like to really have nothing, to see parents that literally have nothing, that, you know, parents that left this earth with nothing left for the kids or anything. So I get all that. But the reality is like, if my wife and I work our butts off to earn money, we pay our taxes, we should be able to do whatever we want with the money we have left over outside of, you know, sustaining our lives, our monthly bills or whatnot. We should be able to do whatever we want. If we want to educate ourselves on a particular project or a particular company, whatever the case is, we should be able to do our research and invest at our own risk. But that's just kind of like the whole limiting people investment options, which is absolutely crazy. So I'm so glad we are blessed enough to even be able to invest in this new emerging technology called crypto and digital assets. So that's a huge thing. Now with the spot Bitcoin ETF, I don't know if Grayscale is going to be the one to get it. I think their deadline's coming up here to see if they get an approval or not. But I'm curious to see what's going to happen with this spot Bitcoin ETF. We've been waiting some time for it, and there's other countries that's already been rolling that out. So it should be quite interesting, and especially, you know, seeing where the market's at right now and how things are. Yeah, it would be quite interesting. It wouldn't be a surprise, you know, if things, you know, flipped really quick and flipped bullish, and we went into some other, you know, major bull cycle, you know, from, you know, lawsuits, you know, with the SEC library or SEC Ripple coming to a close, whether it's settlement or full litigation. Then you got, you know, Celsius, you know, hopefully they revive and recover from everything, a lot more positivity within the market. Then you got the spot Bitcoin ETF rolling out. You have, you know, government regulations rolling out, everything just rolling out all at once. I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing this thing really start shooting up and our market really start taking off in the other direction. But all in all, that's the update I want to talk about, you know, in this conversation for today's video. I want you to subscribe to Crypto is Key. We're going to continue to, you know, update you on the Ripple versus SC stuff, update you on, you know, important topics and hot topics within the crypto market in general, just, you know, spark up a conversation. I want you to come over to Twitter and make sure you follow us at Crypto is Key 1. We want to continue to grow both of these accounts. I really enjoy what we're doing here. I'm really excited. We've broke 140, and I want to, you know, say a big thank you to all of you that are supporting the channel and watching the videos. With all that being said, stay strong out there. Be safe.